Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today, we have the lovely Deja Alvarez. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Deja. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Just getting back from a very long, productive weekend in DC.
Awesome, awesome. I hope you enjoyed your time in DC. Well, it is great to have you here. The first thing I want to start this off with is just having you, introduce yourself to our audience and letting them know a little bit about your background and experience.
Sure. So, my name is Deja Alvarez. I am running for Pennsylvania State House District 182. If elected, I will be the first Latina woman and the first trans woman in the Pennsylvania State House. And I will be the first trans Latina elected in the nation. Um,
Awesome, awesome. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of groundbreaking there, right?
yes. And that's exactly what we need right now. You know?
Well, tell me why you've decided, at this moment in this election cycle to throw your hat in the ring. What was it that made you really want to, serve the people?
So I've always served the people. All of the work that
Mm-hmm.
I've done for the last couple of decades has always been about serving. My work originally started about serving our community, the trans
Yeah.
community, then it expanded to the LGBTQ community, then
Mm-hmm.
that expanded to all marginalized communities. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
Black folks, and that's undocumented immigrant communities, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody that didn't have access to the resources they needed. My
Yeah.
own personal lived experience as someone who has faced homelessness and someone that has
Mm-hmm.
had to live in the streets and do whatever was necessary in order to
Yeah.
survive. And then I've come back to do all of this work that has helped to change a lot of these systems or create additional resources within these systems for the most marginalized people. And then I realized that through my work I was constantly building relationships with politicians, which was not something I ever intended to do because I'm
Mm-hmm.
about as far removed as a politician as you could possibly get, or at least what we have always traditionally been taught is a
Mm-hmm.
politician, right? And I think that that's where our problem is, that we see only people of a particular background, a particular experience, a particular appearance, particular identity from a certain family with a certain pedigree are
Mm-hmm.
qualified to make legislation for the rest of us. And right now, the Republicans are making trans rights are like kind of their leading charge right now. That is what they are leading with. There is over 120 some odd bills right now in legislation throughout the country that are targeting trans people, and representation matters. And so for me, it was like, okay, this is the time. This is when we're getting hit the hardest. I have done
Mm-hmm.
the work. I know what to expect kind of walking into these spaces because I've already been in many of them.
Yeah.
And that, how do um, we really affect change? How do we really be a part of the conversation when it comes to our own bodies and our own backgrounds and
Mm-hmm.
ethnicities and cultures and all of that? We all need to be represented. So we have to
Certainly.
change the way politics looks. We have to
Certainly.
change the way politics are and how they're done.
Certainly. And how it's done, how it's done. I
Yeah.
like that. Well, Deja, tell me, what would you say are your three biggest issues or challenges that you'd like to tackle if elected?
If elected, because I'm being elected to a state house, a particular
Mm-hmm.
district, I have to listen to the constituents of the district. And so my district represents most of Center City, Philadelphia. So listening to
Mm-hmm.
them, quality of life issues, crime is an issue for them right now, not feeling safe on the street right now. Education is a big issue right now as well. Our public schools here in Philadelphia are, quite frankly, ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
Like it's people are trying to, like, we have charter schools here too. So there are parents that are signing up for a lottery in hopes that they will get picked
Mm-hmm.
so that their child can get a decent education. No one should ever go through that. Public schools are here to serve the public and to provide a good quality education for everyone. So those are probably three of my top issues, but
Yeah.
also, we have to bounce back from the pandemic. And there's a lot of businesses in this district, and there's a lot of people being hit really hard because the the money that was given to businesses that was supposed to be for small businesses that was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to help them get through the pandemic, much of that went to big businesses that have
Mm-hmm.
big bank accounts that could survive the pandemic. And so a lot of these smaller businesses that are, maybe only 3 employees or 5 employees, they didn't qualify to get any of the benefits. And so a lot of them are closing up shop, or they're very close to closing up shop, and now it's tax season and they owe a large tax bill. And so I think since our government failed them a little bit during the pandemic, one of the ways that we can help them is by circling back around to these small businesses, not the large companies, corporations, and businesses, the
Mm-hmm.
smaller businesses that didn't have access to pandemic relief. And now we give them tax relief so that they don't have to pay this huge tax bill, which means essentially they're going to go out of business.
Certainly, certainly. Tell me this, for anyone who's watching, and they don't know what areas District 182 covers, and all of that. Could you kind of go over
Sure.
what areas and municipalities that are covered by, and also tell me your favorite thing, or one of your favorite things about the District 182 in Pennsylvania?
Okay. So District 182 is mostly Center City, Philadelphia. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, all of downtown where all of the high-rise buildings are and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also a lot of residences that goes over into Graduate Hospital area, South
Mm-hmm.
Street, the Italian Market,
Mm-hmm.
the neighborhood is in
Mhm,
Center City.
mhm, mhm.
So all of that is encompassed in the 182nd district.
Awesome.
And then one of my favorite things about this district, one of my favorite things is that if anywhere in this district, you can walk within a block or two and find an amazing little place to eat or an amazing little store to
Mhm.
shop in, or you're always bumping into people that you know or
Yeah.
that you've seen before or something. So being in this district is just there's something very comforting about it. It's almost like, well, it is for me, it is home, but
Yes.
I think for a lot of people coming, even folks that don't live in the district, they come down here just because it's a great place. It really is. We have some amazing stores and restaurants and all kinds of fun things, museums and all kinds of other fun things to do in here.
Awesome. 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 Well, Deja, let everyone know why you are the best choice for voters come this election day.
Whew. So I think, like I said earlier, we tend to look at a specific type of person as being the candidate, right? As
Mhm.
being somebody who, is going to be the politician to help make change. But I think we've seen time and time again, we do that. And then this person is just like every other person that's been elected. And the difference with me is that I have an actual lived experience combined with a professional experience
Mhm.
that is very different from any of my opponents. My opponents, they seem like nice guys, but they haven't done the work. People don't understand that we need advocates and activists in politics. Instead, some of my opponents actually try to use that against me. So, well, she's just an activist, so she can't get this job done. And well,
Mm.
I hate to tell you, but there's 203 state legislators in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and 90% of them are, look just like my competitors. And y'all still haven't managed to get anything done. So what makes you think by adding one more of you is going to make a change? And quite frankly, I think especially for us marginalized communities, we're tired of these folks that stand up and say, oh, we're allies, we're your ally.
Mm-hmm.
No, we need to be at the table. And for, there should be nothing about us without us. And
I
that's the
like
thing.
that. I
Trans
like
rights
that.
and women's rights are on the
Mm-hmm.
line right now. So we need trans women, women in general, whether they're trans or cis, in general, we need more women elected, and we need more of those women to be women of color, women from different backgrounds, and women that understand what it's like to be marginalized, and um, where we should be fighting the hardest to make the change for people.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Deja, tell me, when does voting begin for Pennsylvania State House?
So, it depends whether they're going to do a mail-in ballot or whether they're going
Mm-hmm.
to vote at the poll. So the actual election date is May 17th, but people will have their mail-in ballots going out about 2 to 3 weeks before that. So
Okay, perfect,
yeah.
perfect. And of course, you want to remind our viewers that to keep those deadlines in mind and go ahead and register to vote. You can check your voter status, pledge to vote, and register to vote at headcount.org. Once again, that's headcount.org. You can check your voter registration status, pledge to vote, and register to vote.
I
Now,
am
Dave,
so glad you did that, because one of the biggest things is that there are so many of us that are marginalized that
mhm,
feel as though voting doesn't matter because it doesn't affect us. But if we start voting and start electing the people, from our own communities, that's how we can truly make the change on a
mhm.
legislative level. And so it's so important for us to do. Also, reminder to everybody that you don't have to live in the district that I'm running in order to support me. Like, you may not be
Mm-hmm.
able to vote for me, but running a campaign is expensive. It takes money. You can also donate,
Certainly.
whether it's $1, $5, $500, $5,000. You can
And
donate.
actually, that's the point of the interview that we're at. How can people learn more about you, get updates about you and your campaign, follow you, visit the website, and of course, donate and support in any way? How can they do that?
So you can go to my Facebook, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Um, and there we go. There's everything. And then there's the website, dejaforpa.com. And there you just click the little yellow donate button, and you'll be on your way to setting up for a donation. Like I said, no amount is too small, no amount is too large, because we don't have a limit in this campaign, like how much each person can donate. They can donate as much as they want.
Mm-hmm.
And we, listen, as a Latina woman, as a trans woman, I'm not able to raise the same money that my white male opponents are able to raise. So it's definitely harder for us. It's harder for all women in politics, but especially if you're on top of that, you're part of another or part of
Mm-hmm.
multiple other marginalized communities.
Intersectionalities, there we
Yes.
go. Mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, of course, we are going to have the link to the website in the description so our viewers can go ahead and click that link and find out more, donate, support, volunteer, all of that. So the link will be in the description. Deja, before I
Love
let
it.
you go, thank you so much for being here with me
Thank you.
today. It has been such a pleasure to get to chat with you, and I wish you the best of luck on your campaign.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. It was great to be here. Thanks for being patient for me being a few minutes late.
No worries, no worries. It was certainly a pleasure having you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
To those watching, please follow Team Racine Productions at Team Racine on all forms of social media. Like, comment, and subscribe. And, click around the YouTube channel, check out what you like. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.